Hey, good morning, everybody. It's time for In with Flynn. Hi, John. I mean, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great. It's great to be here.
You've been busy.
Yeah,
We've got a lot to talk about today.
A lot going on, that's for sure.
Well, let's jump right in. I know the work session was on Monday, and the city council meeting is coming up this next Monday.
Right.
The 22nd. 22nd, yes.
Yeah, April 22nd.
Okay. So what's happening?
Yeah, a lot of different things are going on. Doug Fowler had a proposal to have, political candidates, city political candidates, file their statements with a list of all their donations and who they came from. Have that come a little earlier, come before early voting starts. And that's on third reading. I'm not sure if they're going to go ahead with that or table it because, one of the state reps asked the state attorney general, it's a legal question whether the city can regulate elections in addition to the state. So attorney general's looking at that. So that's kind of up in the air right now, whether that will go forward or not.
So that's really, it's a requirement anyway. So all that's trying to happen there is it's put out earlier.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Put it out a little bit earlier because it does come a few days. Believe it's 7 days before election day is how it's set up now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
And we're looking at amending one of our zoning ordinance notice requirements. What's happening because we're doing this big zoning code reform, which will be done early next year. It would apply to quite a bit of the land, and we had turned out Bella Vista had a very onerous provisions about how you do zoning changes, and we're trying to amend ours to make it the same way the state law calls for. One of the things ours was doing is you had to put the complete legal description of every parcel.
Oh.
Well, you pay the newspaper by the word, and some of those legal descriptions go on and don't mean that much to people anyway.
Yeah.
They can be kind of obtuse unless you're a surveyor. So they're trying to change that to make it simpler, and otherwise it would cost a tremendous amount of money to the city just to implement that.
So this will be more like our neighboring cities. They don't have the problem we have.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bentonville and Centerton, some of the cities around us, we're making ours like theirs, which is consistent with the state law. So people will still get notice and know what's going on. That's the important thing.
Okay, good deal.
And then police department, every year they have vehicles that kind of age out. They usually drive them 110,000, 120,000 miles in that range, and so they had on the agenda to get a couple of new Tahoes, Chevy Tahoes. What they're doing now is having Chevy Tahoes more for the officers or the hierarchy, so to speak, and they used to have Dodge Chargers for the patrol cars, and now they're going to have Dodge Durangos because they stopped making the Charger, particularly in a V8, and so that's going to be a big change. And of course, police had the same problem that a lot of people had. For a few years there, it was hard to get cars. And they have a really good system with the state. They have a state bid where they get really good prices on cars, and then you don't have to negotiate. You just go ahead and buy it that way. But for a while, there were no cars on state bid. We had to get them from a dealership in Siloam Springs. And so we're getting back to having more on the state bid. But anyway, we were just trying to get them at the best price possible.
Sure.
It's what it amounts to.
You bet.
So, and there are several things with the police. We approved a new policy that has to do with body-worn cameras and also the cameras in the cars. And, this is the first year we had body cams, and we just acquired them and are having them installed all this year. And so it's good to have a policy about when they're turned on, when they're turned off. And it was interesting, came up at the work session the other day, that there's certain times where they turn on automatically, so you don't have to manually turn them on. Like in-car cameras, you can set them if you go past a certain speed, then they'll come on automatically. So it's kind of good that way.
Yeah, because in a crisis, I mean, if it's a crisis kind of thing, you want that camera on pretty quickly, and you
Yeah.
don't have time to think about, oh my goodness, I have to turn my camera on.
Yeah, a lot of times the policeman is in the middle of doing, or a woman is in the middle of doing something, and so it's kind of good to have it come on automatically,
Sure.
obviously. But the police chief's very enthused about that. He feels like having the body cams and the in-car cameras, will affect how the police act in a positive way. And also, he feels in most cases that actually will, because people do complain sometimes, this wasn't handled right. And having the actual film is helpful he thinks in great majority of cases it will justify the police action. So he feels good about it. And our attorney feels really good about it, because
Oh yeah.
for the legal type proceedings, it really helps to have. It's amazing nowadays to me, just watching the news on television and whatnot. There's so many cameras around on different buildings, and even people have Ring doorbells and whatnot. And so often things are on film, so people can say this happened or that happened. Well, then you can watch the film and see what actually happened.
Well,
So,
it's kind of a safety mechanism, kind of like an audit is for accounting. It's really a protection in a way for the, I'm not going to say victim, but whoever it is being
Yeah.
manhandled,
Yeah.
and for the policeman.
yeah, so it's actually good for everybody.
Absolutely.
When you think about it.
Absolutely.
And we had another policy with the police having to do with the chain of command. They just wanted to clarify the definition and what the chain of command is for the different officers in the department and how all that works. So we're really dotting our I's and crossing our T's, I guess you'd say. And I had a couple appointments coming up again. For the tree board, we have 2 new appointments, Laura Hoffert and Mark Peloton, and they're both renewals. Laura's been the secretary with the tree board, and people were very positive on her performance. And Mark Peloton actually got on 2 or 3 months ago. He had a great background from other states. So often we have people move here from other states, and they have really good backgrounds, expertise in particular areas. So
And Mark's
it's
a
nice.
master naturalist. He's going through training right now, so he's going to be really
Is
good
he?
at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had the tree giveaway the other day. That's always a really popular event, and the way they changed the way they did it the last couple of years has really been a positive. People go online and sign up and show up at a certain time, and so we eliminated the long lines. And before, there'd be people get in line and wait a long time and not get a tree because they ran out. And we were creating traffic jams on the street and everything. So it's working out a lot better with
Boy,
this
you
new
had to
system.
sign up early.
Yeah.
Because I went in there just to look, and there were no trees left.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they go pretty fast. It's a very popular program, and I have to give kudos to Walton Family Foundation. They're involved in that and donating the trees, so it's a big plus and they do it for all the cities around here, not just Bella Vista. So they're really committed to helping the region, and I think it's a great idea. Especially now we're having a little more construction, so we're losing some more trees. So we need to replenish, so to speak, and plant them. And a lot of people don't know the Walton Foundation also plants trees along the trails to help with that. And they're doing about 100 trees on our trails this year.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's great to have that resource.
I used to go and help in Bentonville when they were doing new trails or new things, and it's kind of fun to drive by them years later and look, I planted that tree, and it's growing, and I did that.
Yeah.
So it's good that. And this new ordinance for help me if I get this wrong, but I think it's because many of the lots need to be cleared for septic. It's not like people always just want to go in and cut down trees, and they have to be moved. But now I believe there is a landscaping or a requirement by the city to put 2 trees in the front yard
Yeah.
to make up for the difference. And shoot, you can get your tree free at the
Yeah.
tree giveaway. And
Yeah.
so that's good.
So, yeah, we tried to, a lot of the builders, some of the builders, I should say, were clear cutting lots, and people weren't real happy with that. So we're trying to, protect the environment a little bit and have some trees. And a lot of the cities around us were doing that, so we thought it would be a good thing to do.
Since we're a tree city.
Yeah, that's right. So.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about we've got a little time here before the break, so let's talk about the resurfacing that's going on.
Yeah, the street department, every year they go out for bids for asphalt resurfacing and also for the slurry, which is more of a preservative. And you never know exactly what price you're going to get, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking because the better price, basically they budget for a certain amount, and the better price they get, the more they can do. So on asphalt resurfacing, we got $111.92 a ton. That's by Emery Sapp and Company. And then the slurry, we got $2.75 per square yard. That was with Vance Brothers, who usually does it. And that was a better price. And, they make an estimate ahead of time what they think it's going to cost. So that was a little bit better. So that means they'll be able to do a little bit more mileage than they had planned for, which is good. One of the odd things happened last winter. It was a pretty easy winter, but we had one freeze and thaw that was really extreme, and it damaged a lot of streets. They took calls and compiled a list of all the streets, and something like 290 streets were damaged by that one event.
Like potholes and
yeah, I
just
think it was in early February.
Yeah.
And it was ironic because later in February it was way warmer than normal.
Yeah.
But the damage was already done. So, they're trying to fix as much as they can this summer, of course, because of that. But it's a big challenge with the streets, and we're really happy about the way that's come out.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk. We've got other things to talk about.
Yeah,
is that okay
sounds
with
good.
you?
Sure.
All right. Time for a quick break, guys. Up on 3. Hey, we're back. We were talking earlier about police cars, and now I see on here the Durangos. Well, you're getting some Durangos as well as some Tahoes. So.
Yeah. The police had on the agenda to get 4 all-wheel drive Durangos, and that's $170,000 for 4. So, that's replacing the Chargers.
The Chargers, that's what you
they're
said.
getting away from. Yeah. So
are they fast like the Chargers?
Well, you wouldn't think they'd be as fast, but apparently they're pretty quick. They have V8 engines and fast enough to do the job. So,
you bet.
Yeah, I'm so used to the usual police car look. It's going to be an adjustment for me to see more like an SUV profile. So.
Yeah. Another really big thing that I know that it's going to take a while is the broadband issue that you're getting money from the government, I believe.
Yeah, what's happening is the federal government has funded a big broadband effort, I guess you'd say, and then they run the money through the states. In fact, I was just on a call with the state right before this show, and basically they produced a broadband map for the whole country. And then citizens are supposed to go in and look at the map, and it says either your internet's okay, or you're underserved, or you're unserved. And if it says the wrong thing, say it says your internet's okay, but you're unserved, you go in there and comment to them and say, hey, it's incorrect, and then they correct the map, and they use that to determine the funding. So the bad news is it's hard to get everyone to do that. It's a fairly complicated process.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is the map is mostly accurate, and in talking to the state officials, Benton County has been the most proactive in responding, And of all the cities, to my surprise, Bella Vista has been the best at responding.
Well, maybe, we have a lot of dead areas here.
Yeah.
Maybe and all the people moving in.
Yeah.
Now, I can't complain. We have no issues whatsoever, but I know you could be right next to a house,
Yeah.
just 200 feet or away, and no service.
Yeah, Bella Vista is a little bit unusual because there's good service a lot of places, but there's definitely spots. There's holes in the service. And, I had one of our guys from the IT department, Sidney Reynolds, and he's really been helping people with it, help them get online and whatnot. Today's actually the last day. But I got a good feeling from the state about how the process works. He said Bella Vista was definitely going to get some money, and because I was worried about that. And the timing of it is the money's going to come out about a year from now, spring of 2025. So he thinks you'll see shovels in the ground. And exactly how it works is they identify the places that need it. And then what they call ISPs, which are people like Cox or AT&T, they bid on that area or the particular projects. And I asked them, I said, well, what if nobody bids?
Oh.
And they said, no, we make sure we get somebody, but that's normally not a problem. So really the concept of it is, so you don't have good internet, and then you contact Cox or AT&T, and they say, oh, that'll be $15,000. And you're like, are you kidding? I'm not going to do that. So really the government is sponsoring it or augmenting the funds so that you just pay a little normal amount like you normally would.
For hookup.
So, yeah. And the federal government claims that they're going to have the whole city hooked up, or the whole country, by 2028. And I'm a little skeptical of that,
And
to be
there's
honest.
probably oceanfront property somewhere in the middle of the United States, too. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a huge task, and the good news is they are improving it, and it is light at the end of the tunnel for some folks in Bella Vista. So.
Well, and more and more and more schools even. You don't have snow days so much anymore, but if you can do things online, I mean, we need the internet for the kids to learn, not to play games, but to learn.
Well, people notice it nowadays because some people are working from home and going to school from home, and there's all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. We've gotten, I don't know if you've seen some of the ads on television and whatnot, but you can sit in your house here in Arkansas and go to Arizona State if you want.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's all kinds of things that are going on that didn't used to be, but yeah, you need that good connectivity to do it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now a topic that's come up recently because of the upgrade at Tanyard, of the Tanyard golf facility and down there. Let's talk about the Tanyard Creek parking issue.
Yeah, we had a POA contacted me, and we had an issue recently with Tanyard Creek parking because the parking lot's only so big, and to add insult to injury, now of course they're doing construction over where the driving range is.
Yes.
Which I think will be great when it's all done, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they really have quite a ways to go, and that trail turns out to be the most popular in all Bella Vista. So when it's a nice day, I mean, anybody can tell just driving by when it's a nice day, man, it really gets full up there. Then people start parking in the neighborhoods, and they're on both sides of the street, and cars can't get through. And so the POA has a solution. They're going to expand the parking lot and make an asphalt parking lot, but you need engineering drawings, and you need drainage analysis, and then you go to the planning commission, you go to the city council, and then you have to execute on it. So it'd be months, and we were just coming into the popular time of year. So we were trying to find a solution for that short term. The city that would be the way that code works right now, there was not one. So we're trying to do something with city council where they could park on the grass temporarily until they have a chance to do the other. But it's something you want to encourage, because people getting out and hiking on the trails, being in the fresh air, that's all a good. There's so many things in Bella Vista that are good for your health. So it's a positive in many ways, and people like it. They like getting out and the trails, and there's a waterfall on that trail. It's pretty charming, really.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to do, is come up with a solution that it's not just making the POA happy, it's making the people happy.
Oh, the people that live there are the ones that are hurting right now.
And the people who want to hike the trail, if you go there and there's nowhere to park, it's not good either.
So would this be something that could be implemented pretty quickly? Because it's, like you say, it's now is what the problem is.
It's upon us. Yeah, we're talking about doing something right away, having an emergency clause, and so it'd be done Monday night.
Monday night,
yeah,
okay.
It's up to the council to pass it, but we're putting something together for them to do.
Well, that's really good to know. I know the people that live there will be very happy.
Yeah.
So, good job. Okay. All right, so now the guaranteed maximum, what did we say a while ago?
Oh, yeah, GMP stands for Guaranteed Maximum Price, and we're just about to get that for, phase one of, this is the work around City Hall and Fire Station number 1.
Yeah.
And phase one is turning where the police station was into fire station living quarters. And that, the fire chief is saying that'll be done sometime this summer. So he's ready to go ahead and get council's approval for phase 2, and we hopefully we'll have the guaranteed maximum price before Monday so we can vote on it. But phase 2 is having the city hall offices on the first floor right in front of the living quarters, and the fire station headquarters offices on the second floor. So that'd be like the fire chief, the deputy fire chief, the fire inspector, the building inspectors would be in there. It's that kind of thing. So that would be phase 2, and that's what we're about to hopefully get approval for.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. All right. Well, I think you've got some things happening in April. Let's talk about those events or those
I guess
things.
because it's springtime, there's just a terrific amount of things going on all of a sudden.
Yeah.
April is Litter Awareness Month, and we had a special program where businesses could get involved also. And the other day I gave a certificate to
Steve.
Allen's Grocery, Steve Morrow. He was involved in sponsoring the 6 and 60 and also keeping the area outside your storefront, litter free and clean and whatnot. And so we got that kicked off, and I'd like to get some other businesses involved also. But one good thing happened is, we have these particular days we go out, like the 6 and 60 into March. But there's a group called the Bella Vista Litter Patrol. They're just citizens that got together, and now we have a deal where they'll get some litter cleaned up, and if you get bags of litter, you can call the street department, and they'll come pick them up and take them to the Republic dump.
Good. Good deal.
So I'm encouraged that that's going to help as far as picking up litter all the time instead of just on special occasions.
Actually, yeah, absolutely. We need to kind of wrap it up here. What else we got going on?
Yeah, I'll try to zip through this.
All
There's Bella Vista Youth Council. We just got the ads out on that. That's going to start in September, but we wanted the high school students to know about that so they could make an application this spring before school's out.
Okay.
Once summer comes, people are scattered about. So that's exciting. It's the first time we're going to have that. It's for juniors and seniors in high school. And they kind of will learn all about the city and what goes on, and also they can give ideas about what they think might be good. Get the younger a person's viewpoint.
Sure.
Really.
Absolutely.
Then there's the farmers market ribbon cutting. That's 11:30 on Sunday morning, and I understand you're going to have a show with Becky Parmalee. So that's good.
Right after this.
I think it's going to be really exciting this year because last year she didn't have much time to prepare. She had to really hustle to get it going, and this year I think it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
So Arbor Days on April 26th, we're going to have a ceremony at Reardon Trailhead and plant a tree there. And National Prayer Day is on May 2, and they're having something at Cooper Chapel at 11 a.m. That's, non-denominational. And I think that's a great idea. There's open house on the Fire Training Center on Friday, May 3, and that's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I think that'd be interesting for people because the fire training tower it's a little more versatile than you might think, and they can show people around and explain how it works and whatnot. It's kind of intriguing.
And
So-
you said that is not just a training tower. That's also could be an auxiliary fire station.
Yeah, because they have the other building there looks just like a fire station from the outside. And inside, they have a big classroom area where you normally would have the bedrooms and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But they have room in there. They have a fire truck and an ambulance. So if the other fire stations are all out on calls and whatnot, you've got a couple trained people in there, and they could go out and do an ambulance call.
Good.
In fact, because they're the people that train other people, they're particularly expert in all the medical things. So,
You bet.
so maybe you should hope you get the auxiliary one. Let's see what else. Oh, National Music Week is in early May, and on May 7 at 6:30, they're having an event at Cooper Chapel. I recall they did that last year, and it's nice. That's such a nice venue for music.
Yes.
The acoustics are just terrific in there, and
Yes.
it's very pleasant, actually.
Yes.
So,
Wow, are you tired yet?
yeah, there's a lot happening.
I know, and what we've. Well, anyway, I just think you guys are doing great stuff. As always, I want to encourage people to come to the city council meetings. It's important.
Yeah.
You should always go to all those meetings because otherwise, that's how you get heard.
Yeah.
And that's how you know exactly what's going on rather than asking somebody on Facebook what happened because they don't know because they didn't go anyway. They're just kind
Yeah.
of making it up.
Yeah.
So Monday,
Yeah.
6 o'clock,
Yeah.
the
that's right.
22nd.
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right.
And don't forget, both the planning commission meeting and city council meetings are streamed now on BCTV.
Yes, they are.
So-
Yeah, they certainly are. And we love doing that for you. It keeps us in touch with everything as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we did it again. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground
I
today.
tell you what, I want you to double this list for next month.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We will see you guys all again in May.
Okay. Thanks so much. It's great to keep everybody up to date.